How are you all doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic. Well, if you haven't known already, my name is Gumchu, and this is the Gumchu channel, where we strictly chew gum. With some exceptions from time to time. It's so nice to see you. If you are returning, I'm really happy to see a familiar face. But if you're a new individual who is unfamiliar with Gumchu as well as the content that I distribute on the YouTube interweb, welcome, and I hope that I have attained your subscription. I'll try to get your attention as best as I can. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I've been interested in pursuing as a new hobby for the winter season. I've gotten myself, from the previous video, the Big League Chew, the ground ball grape flavor. And I must say, the ground ball grape from Big League Chew has to be, by far, one of my most favorite gum available. But that's also with the exception that I've only tried only a few types of gum out there. I feel as though I've dropped a big piece of the gum that I just popped in my mouth, and I don't want it to melt on the carpet. Persian rugs are expensive, but getting them fixed, probably even more expensive. So, we've reached the end of the week. Incredible how fast time flies by. But sometimes, we find ourselves struggling with time passing by ever so slow. And with that being a situation on our hands, we tend to question whether or not it's due to the fact that we're not doing enough to keep productive. We're not taking advantage of the time we have because of the lack of activities. And one of these things that we may partake in that helps time go by even better is having a hobby. And if you haven't noticed already, I love automotive stuff, mechanics, and motorcycles. And I do have another channel on YouTube that I've distributed content regarding these things of my hobby and my passion. I'm also known as Hyper Biker on YouTube. HYPERBIKER, all in one word. If you are bored and wanting to find some interesting extra content, go ahead and check out that channel. And you are welcome to subscribe. Welcome to subscribe. Welcome to subscribe. And let me know you stop by. But anyways, I digress. It's not here to promote my other channel, but rather the idea behind Hobbies. Now, with winter depression being a big issue for me, I've noticed that the winter blues is easily solved and cured when I keep myself busy with a routine, good work, fitness, and a hobby. And I've experienced that, luckily, in a couple of months. or in a couple of seasons before, I must say. And if you look at that video channel I sent you, or just provided to you rather, you will notice that I kept myself busy throughout the winter months, partaking in said activities. Now that I live a different lifestyle than I did before, I find that the winter depression really does hit me a lot harder, as I'm limited to these hobbies. However, I found a topic that's worth discussing with you openly to see whether or not this is worth my time. Aside from motorcycles and automotives and planes and all those cool things, I've drawn myself to the idea of electric transportation, particularly solo or individual electronic transportation. This includes bicycles, scooters, I've looked into making my own go-karts and gas-operated, engine-equipped bicycles in the past, but I must say, these things are not very liked around where I live. They are deemed as illegal to operate on the road, and they are frowned upon when using on public paths. And so you must have your own piece of land, property, your own laneway, or an area where you have permission to pursue these things without getting in trouble. And that's not what I really wanted to do. I want something that I can operate whenever I wanted to. And I've noticed that throughout the municipality where I live, a lot of North Americans seem to love this new hype and trend around electric bicycles and electric operated scooters, I must say. Now, these particular motorized equipments have one flaw and one drawback. It is, if they're running out of battery, you must push yourself or pedal yourself to your destination safely. And a lot of the things that you see on the road, especially affordable, don't have this luxury. In fact, a lot of the ones that are affordable at all by the general public run into these issues, but also the fact that they are very weak motorized products. Meaning, people assume electronic bikes or scooters are going to be fast right off the get-go, but they aren't. They have issues of being underpowered. They have issues of consuming too much power too quickly. They also have issues with conserving power when not equipped to a charger or when sitting at idle. They'll also run into issues where parts tend to go faster on lower end graded products. And with that being said, I decided to look into higher grade products. And I found most of those issues, not all, are targeted and resolved, but not perfected. Meaning there's always room for improvement on these products, but they demand more money. And you know me. I'm not all about spending a lot of money. I like saving money, investing in money that's worthwhile, making my money work. And so I decided to pursue the hobby and throughout the winter months of potentially building my own homemade DIY electric bicycle. Now, there are only a couple of elements that I've learned throughout studying this topic in the last couple of days. One, you can have a front wheel operated motorized bicycle or a mid-mounted operated bike or a rear-mounted rear-wheel drive mounted bike, which means the front wheel either turns or the rear wheel either turns, or in some cases both wheels turn when operating the vehicle. A lot of times too, you can have a bicycle electronically motorized, have the renewable electronic motorized product where you can pedal to recharge energy potentially, or you can have one where when it loses all the electronic power, you are still able to pedal without recharging the battery. And there's ones that just leave you stranded. I personally prefer gasoline operated and engine operated vehicles. I'm one of those individuals who thinks, although I do have a major in environmental studies in my sciences and background of academics, I sit in the brinks of differences with other environmentalists. I find the mining and sourcing of this product used to fuel and sell up these massive sources of energies other than known as batteries, they tend to cost a lot of money, blow lots of carbon emissions, or gas house emissions, I should say. And it's not as friendly when disposing of the product at the end of the life cycle. You have to remember too, product life cycle is a huge topic when it comes to the topic of sustainability. A product cannot be sustainable if the life cycle ends in total despair and ruins. It needs to be sustainable by being reproduced into a new form of itself or a better form of itself. And gas-operated engine cars, or engine-powered cars rather, in my personal view, appears as though you can revive these things in a lot more recycled manner. Got a bad plug? Go to the scrapyard where a lot of these things are preserved. Pick yourself one up for cheap. You get to put the part in your car, get it running, and the company or supplier who's given you the junkyard to go to or scrapyard has attained profit to reintroduce new recycled material for your good and the public's good. And this is a longer lasting life cycle in my opinion. And so I bring this up because I really wish I could have had a gasoline operated bicycle. But because of the said situation, it's better to have the electronic bicycle. But even then, I'm accepting the fact that this might go ahead and go against what I am typically looking at when it comes to the environmental footprint of this. In some cases, might be different in some situations, but I'm putting that all aside, and I want to give myself the experience to open the gateway of learning what it's like to own an electronically powered motorized vehicle, i.e. the bicycle that I want to build. But I will also accept the fact that this technology is still very new and has lots of room for growth and upgrading. But the maintenance of this product is relatively known to be low. and should be easy going. I have a bicycle right now, 21 speed, very simple mountain bike, and I'm going to benefit as much as I can with this bicycle because this bicycle is running into some slumps with a cheaper end bicycle that I bought from Walmart a bit back. I rode it as much as I could, got a lot of activity out of it and life out of it, and I realized that the brakes are kind of getting faded. The gear shifter is really out of whack, needs a tune up. Then before I decided to let this bike be handed down to somebody else who's in need, I figured, why don't I make the best out of my situation, bring that bicycle into the house, maybe record a couple of ASMR videos of me working on this thing, get that rear wheel off, get the complete clutch cable, shifting system, and rear gear system removed, and replace it all with a single gear system that is used with my 3 primary gears sitting right behind my pedals, and a secondary gear running off of a chain or belt operated by an electric motor component that'll sit on the rear forks of my bicycle's frame and distributes power and controls to a couple of things that are known as elements needed to complete the circuit of owning a electronic bicycle, especially a DIY project. Have it securely fastened to the body and the main body of the middle of the frame, and have the throttle cable attached to the grip of my current bicycle. All in all, easy to do DIY, but could be a little bit expensive. Reason being, sure, you can go buy a $150 to a $250 easy do-it-at-home electronic bike conversion kit, but you're looking at a very low-powered motor. Remember, when speaking electronic, you use the term motor. When you're speaking of the terms gasoline-operated or combustion-operated, we use the term engine, because motor usually defines electronically related, either brushless or brushed, whatever kind of system they use to generate power. That's what we call a motor. And so this will be a single motor electronic bike. I'm hoping that the motor that I use, I would like to think, from what I've learned, to be brushless, but also a 850 to 1200 watt motor. Only because anything less to push a weight like mine on the bike, plus the weight of the bike itself, and the weight of the battery, etc., will be very, very, very difficult. So to give you some ideas, typically speaking, a 350 watt to a 550 watt motorized e-bike or e-scooter can get you up to a speed of 13 to 15 miles per hour, I would say. In other words, about 20 to 30 kilometers an hour. And anything above that, you have a lot more of a chance to attain higher speeds. Me, I'd like to be more comfortable and attain maybe 50 to 60 kilometers an hour. So maybe I'd go for a 1000 watt motor to be safe. Even though top speed is not everything, torque is a very big situation. But we also have to remember too, when you're building something like this, you have a situation on your hands where the bearings on the bike can go really fast, the tire's not rated for that speed, the brakes can let go very easily. The bike just won't be able to handle that speed. It's a heavy situation. The plan is I'm gonna bring that thing in. I'm gonna tear it apart. I'm gonna slowly buy parts for it over time and add them one after another. It should be interesting. I am mechanically inclined to some part, as you can probably tell from my Hyperbiker YouTube channel. So it should be interesting nonetheless. But anyways, I digress. I want to know what you guys got for hobbies over the winter months, which are a little bit more dark, maybe depressing, more anxiety-ridden, isolated, cold, gloomy, whatever it might be. I want to know what you guys do to keep level-headed. Leave a comment down below. If you haven't already subscribed, leave a like. As always, you are amazing. You are worthy. You are unique as a person you are, and don't ever shy away from being who you are, aka yourself, being true to yourself. If you need a line to talk to, you can reach out to the number. I think it's 933 or 988. I'll leave it in the description down below for helpline, or you can always leave a message with me. It'd be lovely to chat with you and connect if you need anything. Almost in the new year, and if I don't see you until then, best wishes to you all in the new year, and thank you so much for the immense love you've all shown me in the past couple months. I really look forward to the year that comes up and what content creation for me as an ASMR artist will bring for you that you'll enjoy. Looking to hope to see if we can get this channel to grow. Go ahead, leave as much love as you can for this video, if you wish. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.